Hey, what's up, everybody? Once again, my name is DJ, doing what I do, sitting back here on a Monday, chilling. And of course, it's not Monday, but that's my catchphrase, and I'm sticking to it. All right, cool. So I want to put this video out today, and first I want to apologize. I was trying to get my 30 straight videos in for 30 straight days, but man, I had a crazy weekend, Labor Day weekend, so I wasn't able to put out anything for Saturday and Sunday. And then I was gonna come back on Monday, and I got busy yesterday too. But I didn't want to end this day before I put a video out. So here it is. All right. So my topic for the day is, where does Krav Maga go wrong? Okay. Where does Krav Maga go wrong? And before I even go into that, I want to say thank you to everybody that's been hitting me up. I've been getting calls from all over different countries too, man. It's making me feel quite well. I've been getting calls from I got a call from somebody over in Australia. I got a call from somebody in Paris. I got a call from somebody in London. Not calls, but like emails or or stuff like that. It was all Krav Maga folks, telling me that they appreciate what I'm doing on my channel, and that made me feel good, man. Because as you can see, I ain't got that many subscribers. By the way, man, y'all subscribe to my channel, man. I'm trying to put this content out, and I want y'all to get I got to get these subscribers up, man. I want to keep this thing going. All right, cool. So now that I did all my thank you, where does Krav Maga go wrong? The reason why I'm talking about Krav Maga, because that's who's been reaching out to me, okay? But it's not just Krav Maga, it's most systems that are, well, especially this first one, is about, the most reality-based systems, okay? So I'm going to give you three things that Krav Maga, where Krav Maga goes wrong. I'm gonna give you three things. It's always three, sometimes more. But I'm gonna try to stick with just three. Okay. So the first place that Krav Maga goes wrong. Now, I'm not talking about our techniques and stuff like that. I'm talking about, well, you'll see what I'm talking about once I say it. All right. All right. Cool. First thing Krav Maga goes wrong is their marketing. And when I say that, they talk about, first thing somebody at Krav Maga talk about is there's no rules, no referees, no tap out, reality based Krav self defense system. All right, so the problem with that is, okay, it's true. We don't have, there's no rules in a street fight or a self-defense scenario. There's no referee in a self-defense scenario. There are no tap outs in a self-defense scenario. But the minute that you start saying that, what you're pretty much doing is going directly, calling out and directly insulting anybody who competes and has a referee, anybody that competes and has rules, because there's always rules in competition, and anybody who competes and you can tap the other person out. You are directly attacking them when you say that. Okay, that's like, what if that's like a boxer, right? What if the WBA came out and said, boxing, we keep our feet on the ground. What if that was the boxing slogan? Boxing, we keep our feet on the ground. What do you think, right away, what do you think MMA fighters would do right away? What do you think kickboxers would do right away? What do you think Taekwondo people would do, or any system that kick? They would shun against boxing because you insulted them. Boxing, we keep our feet on the ground. We know you keep your feet on the ground, but what's that guy? Why you are directly attacking people that don't keep their feet on the ground? Well, that's what Krav Maga. I'm talking about Krav Maga, but it's other reality-based self-defense that does this as well. You say, well, we don't. There's no rules, no referees, no tap outs, just straight reality-based fighting. Okay. That's why we public enemy number one. Because the minute we say that, we just made ourselves an enemy to damn near everybody else. Because most people compete. All right, and when you compete, there are rules, there are referees, and then if you do jujitsu or MMA, there's tapping out. Okay, we made ourselves an enemy. You know what? Going back to that boxing thing, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but you know, a lot of boxers, I'm gonna say the majority, don't even fuck with MMA like that. The majority. You know what? Most boxers, I know, the only reason that they know who Conor McGregor is because he fought Mayweather. And that's the only reason. They don't know nobody else. Okay, you know, because you know what MMA fighters do? All they talk about is, man, you know, boxers can't you know beat MMA because we throw knees and kicks and takedowns, and you know, boxers, you know, so once they say that, you have boxers that well, fuck y'all then. You know, boxers just shun it. Not all of them. I'm talking about the biggest. Most people I know who box or watch boxing, they don't even think about watching MMA. Okay, because for that reason, because MMA has made boxing an enemy. Okay, but they just made boxing an enemy. Krav Maga then made everybody an enemy. Okay, another thing about that, don't you think that these people that box, these people that do MMA, these people that are, you know, high over in Brazil doing high level jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, don't you think that they have been in some altercations and had to defend themselves in street scenarios before? These guys are warriors, okay? They probably don't take much shit when it comes to, you know, it don't take much for them to have to defend themselves, at least not on the way up. Now maybe then they got to that high level, you know, then they, you know, probably a little more refrained. But on the way up, of course they got into fights. And when they got into fights, do you think that they followed rules? No, there was no rules. You know what? You ever watch Rocky? The Rocky series, one of my favorite series. I didn't watch all 20 of them. All right. And what number was this? When Tommy Gunn was on there, I don't know if that was Rocky 4 or Rocky 5. People say it was the worst Rocky. I liked it. I mean, I liked all the Rockies, but you know, at the end of that movie, Rocky fought, but he didn't fight in the ring. He fought Tommy, but he fought him outside at the bar. You know, Tommy called him out and they had to fight outside the bar. Now that fight, Rocky was doing everything. He was throwing bows, he was tripping him up, he was picking him up, throwing him on the car and stuff like that. And basically, that was like a boxer street fight. It was no rules. Now, Rocky knew how to do all those things because he came up in fucking Philly. You know, he came up in Philadelphia and he was look, my point is when fighters, the point of the movies is when boxers fight in the street, they don't use rules. Okay? And so that's just a good example of what I'm talking about. Okay? So just because and the advertising actually works. The advertising works as far as business goes. So as far as business goes, yes, it does attract the people who are not interested in MMA. It does attract the people who are not interested in doing jiu-jitsu. It does attract the people who are not interested in getting into the ring, doing no boxing, okay? But it also, makes those people who does those other things come out with videos like Krav Maga sucks and all that type of stuff, and we constantly have to defend ourselves, but that's because we have attacked everybody else. Okay, so when you go and attack everybody else, just be prepared to to have to defend yourself against everybody else. Okay, All right, cool. So that's the first place that we go wrong, is we call out the other martial arts systems by, by there's no rules and no tap outs and stuff like that. Okay. Yes, it's true, but trust me, when they fight in the streets, they don't worry about no rules either. Okay. All right, cool. The second thing that we do where we go wrong is that, and this is just the instructors, the instructors forget about the principles when we teach, okay? Instructors forgets about the principles and when we teach. Now, the number one reason for that, and the most times that happen is when, and a lot of instructors, and rightfully so, they go and learn arts from different places. They want to know how to strike, they go take some boxing. They want to better their jujitsu, they go take jujitsu. They better their ground, they take the jujitsu. They want to go and better their throwing, they go take judo. And they go to take these other things, and they learn these other things, and they go, man, that's a better way of dealing with this particular attack than we do at Krav Maga. They go, you know what? That's not only better than what we do at Krav Maga, that's much better than what we do in Krav Maga. So then they go back and they start teaching that as Krav Maga. The problem with that is it's not Krav Maga. Remember, this is important to all you instructors and school owners. This is very important. Krav Maga is a principle-based system, and it's based on the simplest and easiest movements and things to learn. Remember, we're not training MMA fighters. We're not training jiu-jitsu practitioners. We're not training judo practitioners. We are training people that's just going to be coming in for 1, 2, maybe 3 days a week. We have to teach them the easiest thing to learn. That's why we pluck when somebody goes for a choke, okay? The pluck is a simple thing to learn. If you don't know what a pluck is, look it up. The pluck is a very simple thing to learn, okay? Is it the best? Hell no, okay? Is it the most efficient or proficient? Hell no. But it's the easiest thing to learn, okay? And when you're under stress and you don't have a lot of training, the only thing you're going to be able to pull off is things that's easy to learn, okay? Now, I go and teach my students other things, okay? I did Hapkido for a while. I teach Hapkido sometimes, okay? When I go learn other things, I bring them back and I teach them. But I don't teach them as Krav Maga. I teach them about this other cool thing I learned, and I say that I'm going to take y'all some other stuff the other cool stuff I learned is not Krav Maga, because Krav Maga has to be simple, after a while, you start learning all this other stuff, and then you bring them back to your school and you start replacing things that's in the system with those things, and you're no longer teaching Krav Maga. Here's another problem with that. You ain't that good at teaching it. That's right, I said it. You're not even that good at teaching it. Now, I'm not saying that you can't teach it. What I'm saying is you're probably not as good at teaching it as the person that taught you. For example, right? I may teach a jiu-jitsu technique, okay? I'm not even close to being able to teach that technique as good as, my instructor, that taught me. I'm not even in the ballpark of being able to teach it as good as some of the black belts or brown belts or even purple belts, okay? If I go do some Hapkido, I did Hapkido for a little while, but I'm not even on the same level as some of the grand masters. Now, I can teach some boxing. I can teach that, all right? I mean, I ain't no Angelo Dundee or nothing, but I can teach some boxing, all right? I was brought up of a boxing. But my point is you're not even teaching it at the level in which you learned it, unless, of course, you are also a black belt in jiu-jitsu or black belt in those other arts, right? And then I'm gonna tell you what happened to me. When I trained over in Israel, right? It was a high level black belt. I'm gonna get his name too and put him in somewhere down here and give him a shout out, because he was a high level black belt, and he actually teaches Krav Maga too. Nice dude, dangerous dude, big dude. He was a heavyweight, and champion in jiu-jitsu, heavyweight champion in judo, and he was learning Krav Maga. He might be a black belt in Krav Maga by now, but he was like a level 5 or 4 at the time. So during the break, he put on his gi and he got together with some of the Israeli instructors was over there, and the reason why they got together is because they wanted the instructors over there wanted them to show them some techniques and how they can make it applicable to Krav Maga. So I think he was showing them the triangle and stuff like that, and he was like, okay, that's good. What can we take out to make that move more simple and easy to teach, and he was like, oh, what you mean? He said, well, it has to be, how can I teach a triangle to somebody who's never trained before and I only have a half hour? How can I teach? What can I take out to make that more proficient? And they spent the hour, taking, that's some high level jujitsu stuff and trying to make it more simple so the average person can do it. All right. And I think they ended up with like a simple, armbar move or something like that. But I loved it. I loved the fact that they was like dissecting it and making it more Krav Maga ready. Okay, not saying that it wasn't good already. It was good, but not for somebody who needs to teach a person quickly and teach them something simple. So when y'all instructors go, I know I'm rambling, my bad. I ain't mean to, but I get passionate about this shit. When y'all instructors go learn this other stuff and bring it back into the Krav Maga system, make sure that it adheres to the principles. And if it's not easy to learn, by the easiest, as simplest to learn with simple movements, then don't teach it as Krav Maga. Teach it as that other cool stuff that you learn, but don't teach it as Krav Maga. All right. You know what? It's this guy on I ain't gonna say his name, but it's a guy. If you look up Krav Maga, he'd probably come up. I don't even have to tell you who he is, but I'm gonna tell you like this. And everybody if you're a Krav Maga fan, you probably know who I'm talking about. He got all these videos out, and he's doing these outstanding demonstrations. I mean, he doing flips and jumping up on people's neck and throwing them around and stuff like that. And he's marketing it as Krav Maga. That shit ain't Krav Maga, all right? Probably about 5% of the stuff he does is Krav Maga. Now, I ain't saying he don't know Krav Maga. I don't know what he's teaching at his school, but what he's marketing on his channel is not Krav Maga, because Krav Maga is supposed to be simple, easy. It ain't pretty. When y'all see me do my demos, it ain't pretty. I've actually got some thumbs down. People say, his technique is not that good. And me, I say, good. I'm glad you said that, because if it's pretty, it ain't Krav Maga. All right, Krav Maga is not supposed to be pretty. It's supposed to be simple and easy to learn, okay? If you want to do some pretty stuff, then go on that other guy's channel. You're going to see the prettiest stuff you could, but the shit ain't Krav Maga, all right? My bag, I'm rambling. Let me go to that next thing. All right, what number am I on? Oh yeah, I'm at number 3. All right, so the first one, I said that we make ourselves public enemy number 1. The second one, I said that we go learn things from other systems and then bring them back to Krav Maga and teach them as Krav Maga when they don't adhere to the principles of Krav Maga. And now is number 3. Number 3, now, I'm gonna tell you about number 3. All right, this is what I was going to say for number 3, okay? This is what I was going to say, all right? That when we train, we forget to train from a position of disadvantage, okay? That is so important, to train from a position of disadvantage when we're talking about a self-defense scenario. not a street fight. And I'm gonna do a video too. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna do a video too on the difference between a street fight and a self-defense scenario. But not a street fight, but a self-defense scenario. You have to train from a position of disadvantage. Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Then I thought about it. That's where Krav Maga goes. That's what Krav Maga does right. That is what Krav Maga does right. Krav Maga, I always say, is all about the drills. And like I say, I go to a lot of schools. I haven't been able to go to a lot of schools, this year, but I go to a lot of schools. And I will say that all the schools I've gone to, they do a lot of drills in which they train from a position of disadvantage. Okay, they doing a lot of pad work and mitt work and stuff like that, but the majority, or at least half of their training, are drills that's set up to train from a position of disadvantage. Maybe your eyes are closed, somebody grabs you, got to open them, your eyes, figure out the attack. Maybe somebody coming from the left. I got books all the way over here, man, full of drills, just full of drills. We train from a position of disadvantage. The reason why at first I was going to put that as number 3, saying that we got to get back to that, is because of COVID. And even here at CDK, it's hard to train from a position of disadvantage when we can't do no light pressure training and touching and stuff like that. I know some people are doing it anyway, but I think pretty much all across the country, everybody has some form of a Mac Dojo now, because you can't train as hard as you would like to. But at least champions don't make excuses; they make adjustments, and you can at least train the body mechanics. You can train the principles. You can learn the techniques that back up those principles, and that way, when this thing is over, you can go back to pressure testing and training from positions of disadvantage. But that is a huge asset to Krav Maga, and that's what Krav Maga, that's one of the things. We do a lot of things right, but one of the things we do right is we do a lot of training from positions of disadvantage. All right, so that's about it, man. However you're going to train, just go ahead and train to the best of your ability. All right, cool, peace, I'm out. Oh, you know it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. All right, I appreciate y'all emailing. I appreciate y'all inboxing me. Send this to all your students, man. Subscribe to my channel. Like, comment, subscribe. Trying to get this thing to pop off, man. I want to keep it going. All right, peace. I'm out.